What a miserable day today. It's been raining all night and it doesn't seem to be letting up. A miserable day like today is a good day for a deep dive into the getting residency in Portugal process. So let's get into that deep dive. So I think, like most things that require bureaucracy, you need to have a lot of patience. If you are wanting to get your Portuguese citizenship, which is not going to be something that you get when you get residence, it is quite different. So let's start having a look at the documents you need, and it all depends on what passport you have. So if you have an EU passport, or you are from the UK and you are going to apply before the 31st of December 2020, it'll be a little bit different. So if you are an EU passport holder, you are required to register your residency after you've been in Portugal for 3 months. They say not before 3 months and not after 4 months. So that's the advice that they give you. You will then be issued with a CRUE, which is valid for 5 years. And this CRUE or CRU, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, that you get from your local camera. And you need to go there with your passport, NIF number, proof of address in Portugal, an attestado from the local junta, which is another name for the council, and sometimes they will ask for proof of income. It just depends on the camera. So it's not a given that they're going to ask you. So, but be prepared that they might ask you. And you need, with this CRUE, you need to live in Portugal for at least 6 months of every year for the next 5 years. And then before your CRUE expires, 6 months before it expires, you've got to make an appointment with SEF. And then you will get given a 10-year residency card. So you won't have to do a Portuguese language test if in those 5 years you haven't picked up Portuguese yet. But just know that the CRUE is not the same as the attestado. And I will speak more about attestado later on. And as each Camera interprets the legislation differently, what I'm telling you might not work with each camera. But for some cameras, you need to have the attestado before you apply for residency. And in other cameras, you have to get the residency before you can apply for the attestado. So you need to just ask, and if there seems to be confusion, get the one department to phone the other one and sort it out. That's the advice I can give you for that. Up until the 31st of December 2020, UK nationals can apply for residency exactly the same way as people with an EU passport. After the 31st of December, you will then be classed as a third country national. And I had to look up to see what a third country national was. And basically, that is anybody who is not a citizen of an EU country, Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. So basically, the rest of the world. And if you are a third country national, it's a whole different process. So if you are coming from the UK, for example, and you are there before the 31st of December, you need to apply for that residency, because if you are there longer than 3 months and you don't apply to become resident, then you are going to become an illegal immigrant, and that can pose a few problems for you, I would imagine. Once you get your residency, you then apply to be put on the state health care. And when you get that, you get discounts on medication, and you can get your medical for your driver's license conversion. All of that can happen once you've got residency. So you need to get that residence permit, before you can then do anything else, really. So to apply for residency as a third country national, this is what you are going to have to do. You are going to have to get a police clearance certificate from your country of residence in the last year. If you're coming from America, you need to get an FBI background check and your fingerprints taken, and do not open the envelope. So as a third country national, there are different types of visas that you can apply for, or residence visas. So they are all in the D visa category. So if you are wanting to work in Portugal, you apply for a D2 visa, because that is for workers and entrepreneurs. If you have family living there and you are going for family reunification, that's a D6 visa. If you are a retiree or you have private income, that's a D7 visa. And all of these you can apply for from the Portuguese embassy or consulate in the country where you are coming from. But just know that when you apply at that embassy, you are only going to get stage 1. And stage 1 means that you are then going to get like a long-term 3-month, 4-month visa to be able to travel to Portugal, find a place to stay, get yourself a car, and all of that. And then you have to make an appointment with SEF for the next part of the process. So that is only the first part that you do from the embassy in the country that you're living in. So if you already have a Schengen visa, then you will just go straight to the stage 2 part of the process. So the stage 2 is when you make your appointment with the closest SEF department to you. Make sure that you ask them for a list of required documentation. If you've got questions, you can contact them in their Facebook account as well. If your SEF appointment is after your Schengen visa expires, then it serves as a visa extension, but only in Portugal. You can't travel to other European countries with a visa extension. While you're waiting for your SEF appointment, you can live on your land, you can travel around Portugal, but you are not allowed to work until you become a registered resident. If, of course, you have heaps of money, you can just apply for a golden visa, but then you've got to have an investment of between 300 and 500,000 euros, which I think the average person maybe does not have. If you are going for the family reunification, um, then you need a lot more documents like proof of your family links, full birth certificates, etc. So if you go this route, you have to be either a spouse, a minor, an incapable child, a student whose parents are there. Basically, you have to be a first degree ascendant. And if your documents aren't in English, you need to get them translated and apostilled. I hope you found this helpful. Just know that I'm not an immigration expert. This is just a result of some of the research that I've been doing because I am trying to save money by not getting a lawyer, which might not be the smartest move, but this is my research is showing that you can do this yourself and save the money, the lots of money of employing an immigration lawyer. So if this has been helpful, if you could like, comment below, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on my next adventure or deep dive into bureaucracy. Have a good one. Keep safe.